Welcome to Transitions. I'm your host, Antoinette Zloty. I'm so pleased today to have some guests with me from our community here in Manitoba. And today our topic is hair and beauty. So we will be speaking with people who are actually in the industry. Throughout our years, we encounter changes in our likes and dislikes according to our age. And I remember for myself as a young child growing up in Barbados and then coming here as a teenager to Canada, and some of the transitions that I went through in terms of my hair back there and here in Winnipeg. And I'm still going through transitions as we go from one age stage to the other. So join me in welcoming my guests, Sasheen Cameron, Beatrice Watson, KB, I have to get your name completely right, Ogunlana Tijani, and also Elizabeth Magu. I hope I have that right as well. So thank you for joining us. And let's just start with Elizabeth. Tell us about how you got into the hair industry here in Winnipeg.
My name is Elizabeth Magay. I'm from Cameroon originally. I was born and raised in Cameroon. And then I immigrated to Canada in 2000. And right away to start, I worked as a healthcare aide and then for a year. And then after that, I was fortunate to open my own hair salon. It used to be located at on Provencher in St. Boniface. And then 4 years later, I moved to Portage Avenue, 621 Portage. So everything has been going well since then. So, I mean, I was fortunate to meet different type of clientele from Asia, from all skin type, all ethnicity, and, you know, origin. So, and so everything has been going well so far up to now, aside of the COVID-19 that hit my business really hard 2 years ago. And it's been really hard since then, since the last 2 years.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing your entry into the business and your journey from one location to the other. Thank you. I would like to turn to Sasheen Cameron now. Sasheen, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with hair?
Hello, everyone. Well, my experience with hair. When I was younger, it was my mom who would normally do my hair, and that was in braids, twists, cornrows. I remember in the summer times, I'd have to beg her to put beads in my hair because, you know, that was the hottest thing at the time, to have beads in your hair during the summertime. So I'd have to beg her to put beads in my hair. And that was when I was much younger. I was in elementary school, I think. When I got to primary school or junior high, as it's known as, when I got there, my mom didn't have enough time to do my hair as much as she normally would. So we had to, my sister and I, we had to go to hair salons. And it wasn't a bad experience because the hair salons that we went to, they had experience dealing with or 4C hair. So it was a good experience. And it was good up until grade 6 was when I decided that I wanted to change my natural hair. I was tired of it. I wanted a change, and I wanted to process my hair or cream your hair, as some people might know it. It's the act of putting in some type of chemical so that it straightens your curly pattern. I don't want to say I regret it, but I kind of do, because the process to cream my hair was just a little bit traumatic. It wasn't a lot, but it burns. It burns to have that type of chemical in your hair. When I was in grade 9, I think it was, I made the decision to go back to my natural hair. So I started the process of growing it out. Yeah, and it went through this really awful stage. I looked kind of like it didn't look good. The straightened hair plus the curly hair was, but I can't say that I regret that decision. I love the decision to go back to my natural hair. Of course, it has its obstacles, but I really like that. So I was first a natural, then went to cream, then went back to natural. Now I'm trying out new things with my natural hair and I love it.
Next, we'll go to Beatrice Watson.
Hello, I'm Beatrice Watson. I'm from Guyana, South America. I was born in a rural area. It's an island, but in a rural area, it's a rural island. And my greatest joy growing up there was getting up and going to play and eating my fruits and running down to the beach. Nothing to do with my hair. And my hair was, I didn't have a good relationship with my hair growing up because I never liked anybody to comb it. I would take some water, put it over my head and say, Mom, no, this is good, it looked good. To get them to braid my hair, two women had to hold me down. One would grab me between my legs, the other one will hold my feet in hand because I'll be screaming. I didn't want nobody combing my hair. I didn't want nothing to do with my hair. I thought it looked good just the way it was with all these knots and everything, but oh my God. So that was not a good experience. And I think I really don't like people doing a lot with my hair even today. I'm just gonna skip for this hairstyle that I got is what my kids did for my retirement. Said, no, Mom, let me do this because, and to sit down for hours. Oh my God, we had a big fight all the time. Said, God, this thing is never gonna be finished. I want to drop everything. And they said, Mom, you gotta be patient. It's gonna look nice. And I agree, it look a bit good, but growing up, when I get to my high school years, you know, it was nice that, no, before then, like in your early teens, you know, when you're going to the country dances and so on, you want to get the attraction of, you want to look pretty because you want, when you go to these dances, some boys are going to come and ask you for a dance. So you, at those days, you would press your hair, like you see your older sisters there, and the people in the villages there, they press the hair to look, and then you curl it up, and then it does. You go to dance, and you get your partner, and you know. So it was a way of enhancing your beauty, like pressing hair. And I think it came from Madam C.J. Walker in the United States way back when. Like she invented the pressing comb, and so that was the first one that we used to press your hair, and there were people good at it. So, but it was always a painful thing, sitting for long hours, plus the oil sometimes get into the hair and it burn your skull, or there's water in the hair and it's like I said, oh my God, this is being in style is always such a painful thing for me in my hair. So when Afro came around, I was so happy to just leave my hair and just cultivate a nice Afro that you just pick it up and that was my best hairstyle, and it still is. I like to be natural because it's less work. Coming to Canada, I used to go to a hairdresser to do jerry curl, and that's a painful thing. I mean, God, everything about our hair is pain. Like they would put these chemicals and whatever it is, it would burn your scalp. I mean, nothing is easy for Black hair, and I don't know why. Why is it that we are having to go through all this? So that didn't last long. And the reason to why I quit that, I used to go to a hairdresser, and I have to say that I was not happy with the customer service. You have a 12 o'clock appointment and you'll be there till 4:30 p.m. still waiting. And if you open your mouth to talk, the person would say, well, you can leave. You know, they have no kind of a customer service. And I was so mad. I'm not going to waste my money coming and paying all this money to be treated like this. So that was the end of going to hairdresser. I never did again. I just left my hair natural and did my Afro. And then as I get older, you know, you cut it right off and you go almost very, you know, very short Afro. That luckily I got a kind of face that it can accommodate this hairstyle. And this one that I'm going on, yeah, I was in dreads, which is what I like. You can just keep you know, curling your hair until you know, it's your natural hair and you keep doing the work. I don't mind doing that. It's not painful. Anything natural with our hair is not painful. Anything added to our hair seems to be so painful. And I don't have the patience, never have. And I think my hair is naturally beautiful. I love Afro. I love dreadlocks. I like a nice, neat dreadlock, though they gotta be, you know, gotta be, you know, presentable. So that's my journey with hair.
Thank you, Beatrice, for sharing your journey and all the choices that you've made along the way, and apprehensions about some of them and concerns about some of the choices that Black people are making. What we'll do is we'll turn to KB, and after KB shares his entry into the hair industry and actually ownership of a salon, then we will talk generally about hair and beauty.
Hello there, everyone. Go by the name of KB. Jokingly, they call me Baba with no hair, keeping the city fresh since 06. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria, a son of a hairdresser. I've been privileged to be around the industry since 96. Again, privileged to be Winnipeg, Manitoba, a beautiful and cold city. So I started off as I wanted to do something different. So I started off doing house calls. You would call me, I just show up at your house, cut your hair on your pouch. I go to soccer. Another good thing about Winnipeg is so much playground. So I would go to the soccer place, basketball place, just cut people for fun. So while I was doing that, I decided, and I remember 2001, I was in 2003, I think I was in school at U of M. And I would just cut people for fun in the bathroom. And one day I was so broke, I needed $60. And then I had 12 people. Actually, I needed $40, my bad. I needed $40 so bad. And I cut everybody, and I had 12 guys to cut that day. So I calculated $5 each, $20 profits. Let's do this. And so the moment I asked for, I said, guys, today I just need $5 from everybody, and everybody just took off. Nobody wanted to pay. And then the gentleman decided that he would pay because he didn't know how bad I needed this. So I finished his haircut. He gave me the $5, and I like hugged him, you know, and he's like, whoa, did you actually need this money? I said, I do need this $40. And then fast forward. So I said to myself, that's it. No more free haircut for nobody. So that's where that little part of me, the business part, just strictly kicked in. Until today, I would not do free haircuts. I would not give discount, just because what I went through. And from mentors I've dealt with the business, and I kept on doing that. So I stuck with it. I strictly did my house call. And then I met a friend while I was in school. So another thing good for while education is good, I guess. You meet people, a fellow from Jamaica. And then he was like, you know, instead of just cutting people at this bathroom, you should come on down to the shop I work. So a gentleman named by Donnie Chase, he owned a styling lineup at the time behind Portage Place. So they brought me down. He asked me if I just do one haircut, let me just see what you can do. So I did that. And because I was already trained from Nigeria and I was already doing my thing, so I did the haircut, and he said, oh, you can start any day you wanted. So I started working there. And of course, hairdressing or barber industry, you're always trying to grow. You always just wanted to do more. So at the time, things wasn't going as was planned. So I had to move on. So we talked about hair school. So I ended up attending Winnipeg Technical College at the time. So right before we graduated, Winnipeg Technical College changed name to MITT. So shout out to MITT. And then I was privileged to be one of the first students that graduated with that name of the MITT, which is Manitoba Institute of Trades and Technology. Again, after finishing my apprenticeship, I went to The Ordinary. It's a clothing store in the Exchange. They have a barber shop, which was also owned by a gentleman called Mr. Ali The Weekend. So they gave me a chance to work there. So while I was doing that, he would talk to me about business and growth and everything. So I like to absorb, I like to learn, I ask questions a lot. And then Royal Touch, I just never give up Royal Touch. I was like, that's my thing. This is something I'm gonna carry on forever and hand it over to sons. And just to kind of keep my mom in my head, you know. So as we're doing that as well, I left to go to another salon, which is very, very common in the industry, always moving. Like Lady Elizabeth has said too, she kind of move to another place. So I went to another salon. While I was working there, I was told they're gonna sell this salon, and I worked so hard to help build the place. And then so they sold it to another person while I was still working there. And then things wasn't working properly, so I left to go to another salon. I worked there for about a year and so, and I had to leave again to go back downtown. And then from downtown, I left. I had a privilege to now own mine. And the quick story about that, I ended up going back to own a salon. I left. So I own my business now. And I'm just privileged to be able to continue to do what I do. And just thank Winnipeg, thank the people for supporting, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, KB. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it up for us to just talk a little bit about perceptions of beauty and also individual choice and the right to choice. There are legislations, the Crown Act has been gaining popularity in the US, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of hair. Although Black people have been possibly the drivers of these changes in legislation, I just wonder if other people also benefit from the activism that we've seen around here. Can you comment, Beatrice?
Well, you know, in Winnipeg and in Canada, we do have individual choice. We have a right to dress however we want. But if you're going to the workplace and if you have dreadlocks, for instance, that's your natural hair. It's neat. You're keeping it in, you know, you're not like if you somebody just jumped out of the jungle, which look very unkempt. You got to still maintain a certain decorum about whatever hairstyle you have. And people can't just deny you or say, well, we don't like that hair. You got to straighten your hair or you got to put your hair in a different style. Like that would be a discrimination based not only on hair, on your race, because that's had something to do with race. Now, an important thing that Antoinette mentioned, if you color your hair, you can color your hair, you can do that. That is not covered under the Human Rights Code. You know, doing things, piercing your skin, putting all these face markings or whatever, an employer can say, look, this is going to turn off our customers. And I don't want that. You know, they can, and that would not be a human rights issue because it's not to do with your race or your age or one of those grounds that are covered under the code. Just to be clear.
Okay, well, that's interesting. That's good, Beatrice, to know that. I have this question for Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what do you find a lot of people are doing now? Like a lot of young people are doing with their hair?
So I was saying that when it comes to hairstyle, in regard to young people, lately I've been having a lot of young guys coming in to get their hair perm. You know, like mostly young guys with straight hair, not necessarily African. So they come in to get their hair perm a lot or braids. They come to get their hair braided straight back with the sides shaved. The Caucasian women, they come in with the children that are mixed children to get their hair perm. In the past, I didn't used to have that a lot, but now lately it's been, you know, being in trend. So a lot of young girls, they come and also to get extension done, hair extension, like weaving. And they, there's also this type of hair that is called nanotip. You know, I've been getting a lot of those services done too. Like it's single strand like braids, but it's not actually braids. So you use the beads and apply it to attach into the closer to the scalp. So I've been getting a lot of that done too.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Let me turn to KB now. Would you consider beautiful in a woman?
Beautiful, yeah. So it's your crown, you know, how you take care of the crown. So the crown for me, and I regard the hair as your crown, you know. So if your crown is kept well, it speaks so much about the person, which I will see as the beauty.
Thank you, and I'm going to turn to Elizabeth. How about you, Elizabeth? What do you consider? Let's change it over to gender then, in terms of a man's look.
I like curly hair on men, but in general. And then secondly, I like sometimes to see black men in straight braid down. You know, personally, I prefer something that, you know, you can change constant. I know you can color your hair when you have braids in, but I like when a man or woman can carry a hairstyle that you can change often to change your look and all that. That's me though.
Where have our perceptions of beauty originated?
It comes from a colonial background, the way we are interpreting beauty. You're beautiful here, like, and the way that even the people around you would talk. There's good hair, and then there's bad hair. If you got a little bit of loose curl, your one of your parents maybe got a different East Indian or something, or whatever race it is, and your hair, the curls are looser, that's good hair. You with your tight hair, that's bad hair. And so everything about our beauty, to me, is you know, it geared towards a European kind of a standard, which is completely a different standard than what we are as Black women.
Thanks, Beatrice, for sharing. And seeing a lot of Black women covering up their natural hair with wigs. And it's not for religious reasons, as it is with some religions. Women cover their hair for religious reasons. But it's almost like, is it convenience? Like, okay, I'm going to put on what a lot of people around me seem to be wearing, especially with the young girls that want to have the long straight hair, because that's fashionable now in Hollywood and so on. So they wear the long hair, and but it's so easy to just put a wig on, as opposed to letting their hair shine, letting their hair be the center. So, but it's still a personal choice, and it's still whatever your perception of beauty is. And the thing is that we're not a one size fits all in this society. So the thing is that I feel that I would like to see young kids, though, maybe take their time with chemical straightening and things like that. Maybe try to come up with the braiding is good and stuff like that, but try not to get into high costs. It's been very interesting. Does any of you have anything that you'd like to add, KB?
I personally think Black women, let's go back to the roots. Whatever happened to plaiting your hair? Whatever happened to being original? Whatever happened to cutting your hair? A lot of people would wear wigs. I understand there could be a health reasons, alopecia, all kind of things why you want to wear a wig to cover up. That's understandable. I would for sure stay in contact. This would be a bigger topic. The COVID held back a little bit of what some of the plan we have at Royal Touch this year was to have a hair show where no wigs, no attachments, nothing is going to be used. And we just want to invite people out to just come see the natural beauty of Black women, whether you're from the Caribbean, you're from Africa, you're from the, anywhere you could from the islands, just to see what originality is.
Okay, the 70s had a big major change among Black people in terms of valuing their hair, okay? So everybody was looking like everybody else. And I was one of those people with the big afro, and all of our, the women in the family were going big afro. And we went through some transitions and so on. And then with the death of George Floyd, I went radical. I mean, like, it was like, oh my God, this is, and so it was afro straight, okay? So that's how I do my thing now. But I don't think that we as a society, given the fact that we have people in the industry like Elizabeth and yourself, you're there to help people with grooming, right, of their hair. and coloring of their hair, changing their hair according to their perception. We're not in a position as a body of people to really dictate how people should do their hair. It's a real individual choice. And we shouldn't look down on somebody if their hair is straighter, they're black, but they've got straight hair. There are a lot of really dark people in the world with straight hair. You know what I mean? It's so Afro is not the signature hair. I should maybe mention here that thanks to Sasheen, she's a student, she had to leave, but we will continue on. Okay, Beatrice?
I just wanted to say that, when it comes to hair, everybody think there is always a challenge with any kind of hair. When I was growing up, I used to look at my East Indian girls with straight hair, but they had problems too. They had knotty hair to brush or comb that knot out. They were screaming just like I was. So every hair has a challenge, but we got to work with what we have and do the best we can. And that's why we have nice hairdressers like Katie and Elizabeth who can help us to get those knots out in our natural hair. Nothing is easy because once you got hair, it's going to get knotty and it's going to have to be taken care of. So we just got to be patient with ourselves and know that other hair, although it looks straight, it also got its big problems to get it in some kind of a manageable way.
Let's start you, Elizabeth. One point you want to make?
But you know what? I want to say one thing. Everywhere now, including my country, everybody wants straight hair. It's as if we definitely kill our culture. So everybody wants straight. I do a lot of weave on, a lot of relaxers in my shop, and nobody wants natural hair anymore. And I hope that at some point, accept our culture, our natural hair, and get back on that, at some point.
Okay, thank you. And KB?
Thank you again, and I hope we continue to remain true to ourselves, starting from the crown.
And Beatrice, one last point to make?
Well, I just want to say Black hair is beautiful, as well as other hair. And we have to accept what we have because that's what we were given and make the most of it and do the best we can to make it however we want it to be.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank our viewers, as well as our guests, and also our volunteers and the staff at Shaw. We cannot have transitions unless we have you all a part of it. So please visit our website and go to our YouTube channel and check out and see how you like some of the episodes that you might have missed. Thanks for joining us, and please join us again.